morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about some new cards from those EX decks that are coming over in Japan. The Skeleturge and Mewtwo decks, which incidentally I have pre-ordered over in Japan because I collect all Japanese cards. I'm not just trying to get random booster boxes to try and pull the big cards. No, ladies and gentlemen, my Japanese collection is getting pretty extensive, and that includes buying every single starter deck they release. Because over in Japan, they've always got exclusive EXs and stuff, and that's awesome. But we've had some cards revealed from there that are really very, very good. And I want to start off with Xatu here, because this card is like genuinely, legitimately nuts. It's really, really good. And if you're going to be playing a Psychic deck, there is a very, very good chance you're going to be wanting to play this one, because this is good. Like, it's a stage 1, I'll admit that straight off the bat. But outside of that, this is, yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Now, I did do the translations for these myself, but I have checked with a lovely Antoine Boulet just to make sure I've not done a silly. And what we've got here is, I mean, the free energy 80, nobody cares. 100 HP is a little bit low, boo hiss, etc. But the ability here is absolutely nuts. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw 2 cards. So we've got this ridiculous combination here of both energy acceleration, which is good, and card draw, which is good. Although, a lot of you, the second I said this, you're going to have had a bit of deja vu going on, because you're going to go, well, hang on a second, well, see? Isn't that Shadow Rider Calyrex? And the answer is, kind of. Now, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX is a VMAX, which means way more HP, but also gives up free prizes. You do not want a free prize liability on your bench if you can help it. The other gigantic difference is that Shadow Rider Calyrex allows you to attach a basic psychic energy from your hand to a benched psychic Pokemon. This will allow you to attach it to any bench Pokemon, and that is absolutely huge. Like, as an example, let's take Slacking. And I take Slacking because it is a colourless Pokemon that people have been trying to make use of ever since Pokemon Go came out. And when I say people, yes, I include me. It's a fascinating Pokemon. It's got an ability that says if you've got 2, 4, or 6 prize cards remaining, this Pokemon literally can't attack. Although, generally speaking, what you do here is you play Path to the Peak to turn off your own ability, which then lets you attack. But it's just a flat 4 energy 260. Any energy acceleration will work. Xatu will work here quite nicely. Of course, in this EX deck, you got Mewtwo. And it uses Psychic Energy, but it is a Terra Mewtwo, which means that it's not actually a Psychic Pokemon, it is a Lightning-type Pokemon. Well, now you don't need to worry about that, ladies and gentlemen, because even though it's a Lightning Pokemon, you can accelerate energy. Obviously, it's going to be really obvious which deck these are from, Mewtwo or Skeleturge, alright? So here, works really, really nicely. I mean, the second attack on Mewtwo for 2 energy does 10 damage, plus 30 more damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So clearly having something like this that can accelerate a huge amount of energy is a very, very, very big deal indeed. You're not going to be playing this probably in Gardevoir decks, because as much as I appreciate the energy acceleration and the draw, Gardevoir's got the built-in draw with Curlier, and you've also got energy acceleration with Gardevoir EX. So trying to fit a new Stage 1 line in, it doesn't really make sense. Outside of that, unless you're playing, I suppose, single energy Psychic decks, but even then, the draw alone might make this worth it. The fact of the matter is, this is energy acceleration plus draw on a single prize Stage 1. This is ridiculous. And I can't tell you that we're going to have a whole bunch of Psychic decks that suddenly become absolutely amazing, but I can tell you that this just makes them all better. Although again, I do need to stress this one more time before we finish up with this card. It can accelerate energy to any Pokemon, and I've checked the translation myself. It definitely says Psychic Energy, but it also definitely just says Bench Pokemon. Choose one Bench Pokemon. Love it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 5 Wossie card. And I know, generally speaking, from these starter decks, we don't expect great cards. But I'm telling you right now, as far as I'm concerned, this is a 5 Wossie card. Now, as a side note, I am expecting this card in Paradox Rift, but I am not promising that this card will be in Paradox Rift. We have had confirmation there will be a Mewtwo EX in Paradox Rift, which has to be the one from the starter deck. There isn't another one. That would be a weird thing if that happened. Which does not confirm that every card in the starter deck will be in the set, but it does confirm that some of them will be, so I'm expecting it to be in there. The other card, which I think is really very good, and this will also look very familiar to a bunch of you, is Volcanion. Now, 130 HP single prize basic, pretty cool. 4 energy, 120, haha, lol, no, that's way too expensive. But single fire energy, 20 damage, choose up to 2 of your bench Pokemon, and attach 1 basic fire energy from your discard pile to each of them. And this, to some of you, is going to feel very, very familiar. It's Volcanion. It is literally Volcanion. The first Volcanion we ever had for a single fire energy did 20 damage and allowed you to attach a fire energy from your discard pile to each of 2 bench Pokemon. This is the same attack, same HP, same retreat cost, same weakness, same Pokemon. The only difference is instead of 3 fire energy 100, it's 1 fire energy 3 colorless 120. It is weird that they've basically just reprinted the same card. However, this was really good back in the day. This was very, very, very good back in the day. I'm expecting this to be pretty gosh darn good now, frankly. I expect this to be a good playable card. I think this is really, really good. In the early game in a fire deck for accelerating energy while getting a bit of damage off, yeah, this isn't too bad. And this is a point in the video where some of you go, well, look, Wossie, this is all well and good, but 20 damage isn't very much. Back in the day when we got Volcanion in Steam Siege, we also got Volcanion EX in Steam Siege, which let you discard a fire energy from your hand, and then your basic fire Pokemon's attacks did 30 more damage, so you were doing more than 20. We don't have that Volcanion EX anymore, and the answer is, well, no we don't. But we do have Rapidash from Silver Tempest, which says you can discard a fire energy from your hand, and then your fire Pokemon's attacks, they do not have to be basic, do 30 more this turn. As a side note, as a rule in query, because I get this quite a lot, you have to discard 1 fire energy for each Rapidash. You might have multiple Rapidash in play, but you have to discard 1 fire energy for each. You cannot discard a single energy and have it activate multiple Rapidash abilities. If you could, oh my word, that would be better, but that would also be a bit stupid. That doesn't work. And sure, it's not a basic Pokemon like Volcanion EX was, I get it. My point is, we've still got a way to boost up this damage, and this is still a very good early and recovery turn attack for fire decks. And I don't think it's going to be quite as good as it was back in Steam Siege. The meta's moved on. The extra damage thing is not a basic, which does make a difference turn 1 going second, for instance. Because what you could do with Volcanion was just activate the ability, discard the energy, do extra damage, and then they would be the energy in the discard to attach with Volcanion. And you could, like, legitimately use 2 EX abilities turn 1, and then you'd be hitting for 80 damage while accelerating the 2 energy you just discarded. You can't do that with Stage 1 Rapidash, so it is a weaker version of it, and I admit that, but it is still a very good card that I think has a bunch of potential. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wossies. We don't give half Wossies, that would be barbaric. Honestly, given the amount of play and success it saw last time, calling it a 5 Wossie card I don't think would be an exaggeration. Now, they are the 2 I'm very excited about, but there are a couple of others we should mention nice and quickly before we go. There is a Heat Rotom, 90 HP basic, 2 energy, 100 damage, and it does 40 to itself. What I would say about this one is, with the combination of Rapidash and Magma Basin, you can pull off some dumb little trickery here. Because Magma Basin will allow you to attach another energy, so now you've got the 2 energy on in one go. Then with Rapidash building it up from 100, yeah, that can go quite nicely. but I fear this is another one of those that's interesting, not quite good enough. There is a Deoxys, and yes, we do have Serata artwork here, so spot the hidden Pokeball. I do think it's one of the easier. For those that don't know, that artist hides a Pokeball in every one of their artworks, except one where they forgot and they actually kind of tweeted out about it and apologised. Deoxys here, 120 HP basic, single energy 30, fine, and then free energy 120, and then you get to move all energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon in any way that you like. It's fine. I like it when you can take a KO and then move all the energy. I think it's way better if you've been using Xatu here. That would be awesome. Because then you basically accelerate the energy with Xatu, attack with Deoxys, and then move it where it needs to be. I can see the point of this card, but shall we say it's not particularly stunning. And then we got an Executor here as well, 130 HP stage 1, 2 energy, 30 plus sleep on a stage 1, oh my goodness, no. And then free energy, 160, and then you can put 2 energy from this Pokemon back into your hand, which a lot of the time would be super annoying because you can only attach 1 energy per turn. But remember, this is coming in the Mewtwo deck with Xatu, which actually makes it really, really good because you put the energy back in your hand so you can reattach it with Xatu, bearing in mind when you reattach it with Xatu, you get to draw the cards when you do the attachment. So both Deoxys and Executor here actually combo really very nicely with Xatu. It's deliberately been designed in this way, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Xatu is the star here. I do like Volcanion, but Xatu is a ridiculous card. I expect a bunch of people to be building around it. Also, I've shown you this before, but can we just look at the Fuecoco from the Skeledirge deck? Look at the amazing Gemmy artwork here. Oh my goodness, I love it. We talked about it before, and it's not that relevant to the video, but look how good it is. Okay, I'm done. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about these cards. I want to know if you think Xatu's as broken as I think it is. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and of course, you can get shoutouts on the channel. We do that on the Patreon. Like the lovely Jelena Renji, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for all the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.